Well, hello, friends. Thanks for tuning into the Creative Woman Foundation podcast, where we share biblical truths and leadership tips so that we can help women influence change and pursue God-sized dreams. In this special podcast series, we are diving into Creative Woman's new 6-part video series and workbook called Dream Launcher Connections, which is actually launching today. It is live, and we cannot wait to celebrate with you. I'm your host, Heather Frierson, and today, Gena Anderson is joining me, and we are pulling back the curtain on what you can expect and how you can get connected. So, let's go. All right, well, I'm here with my friend Gena Anderson, who has been a part of our team for almost 8 years, I think. Is that right? Like it
I
feels
think so.
like, yeah, way before, BC pre-COVID. And you have not only been a part of the team and been writing for us and so many other things, but today we are celebrating the launch of our new workbook. And you led the whole writing team in this process. So first of all, yay for our launch and congratulations to you. I'm so excited.
Yay. Yeah. Congratulations to the whole team. And to you. Like, this has been a long time coming. And one thing I want people to know, like, as we celebrate on launch day, is that there has been so much planning and prayer and just thought, and just going before this. And so for us, you and I specifically, and the Creative Woman team, like, this really is a celebration. We've been waiting
It
for
really is. High five through the computer. I mean, in all transparency, we're pre-recording this, but I feel the excitement already because when we're recording this, it's 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
And today, if you're watching the day that this show went live, it is launch day for this book, which is the proof, Dream Launcher Connections workbook, and also the launch of the video series on YouTube. I can take a breath.
Yeah. No, I mean, the excitement is genuine, honestly, like for me. And I know it is for you too, because it's only been recently that we have seen the thing in print, the thing that you have been. It's kind of like I've published a couple of books. I know you've published books before. It's kind of like having a baby. Like, you've been growing it a while and now you see it. So the excitement is genuine for real.
Yes. And just like a baby, everybody's like excited for you. And when the book comes, they care nothing about you, just the baby. But in this case, well, in that case as well, I'm fine with that. I'm excited that you're going to go get the book and go get it in your hands and just see the magnificent work. I counted, there were 5 writers in the book and 14 teachers in the videos. So let me just say this for people who are like, what are they celebrating? What is this about? So we have a 6-part teaching video called Dream Launcher Connections, and we're going to get all into that in this process that dives deeper into each chapter of the book. Each video is about 15 minutes, and then each writer really gave practical insight for each video and questions. So what I like to say is that the video is the wisdom and the teaching and the deep dive, whereas the workbook helps you have more connection with your CW circle and are powerful tools that you can pick up and refer back to on a daily basis.
It's how the individual woman gets involved. It takes it from just watching something as a consumer, and now I'm walking it out. I'm applying it to my life.
That is so good, Gina. It's the videos are for you to consume and grow. And the workbook is the practical walking it out.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Let's just recap real quick what we've been doing in this podcast episode. This is episode number 5. The first episode, if you haven't caught up yet, I read a chapter of the book, dream chapter. And then I got to talk with Kendra, our marketing director. And
so awesome.
We dive into the dream chapter questions, like in real time. We talk it out like you would in a CW circle. And then I spoke with Dr. Kate Bohannon, who is also a writer in the book, but she's also a counselor. And we talked a lot about healing and why women, everybody, but we're about women, aren't getting to the purpose because of past trauma and pain. So good. And then Stacy, who produced the video series that you see, is gave us some behind the scenes info. We laughed a lot, and then went to the identity chapter. We always laugh a lot, so
I'm
that's
gonna
just
say
it.
shocking.
So yeah, but today, as we're celebrating, everybody can go and click the link in the box description to go buy this book off of Amazon or from us and watch the video. But the most important thing, which we're going to dive into, is the CW circles. But we just spilled a whole bunch of stuff. Let's pause, back it up, and really share about the process. And not because we want to give so many details, but there's a lot of women in our community that are writers and they're wondering how to do this. And so you've, as you mentioned, you've published several books. You're also a health coach. You're a nurse practitioner. You have a lot of experience in this area. So let's just dive in about what it took to build this book and why we did it. So go for it. I'm going to hand it to you.
Okay.
Since you're the team lead on this.
Yeah, I'll say first of all, really it started with you, Heather, wanting to, your vision for Creative Woman, and then wanting to create this video series. And by the way, I know that you mentioned this in some of the other podcasts, but just to highlight that, I mean, these are well-produced videos. They are really well done. And the women that are in them are just full of wisdom. They are beautiful, like the coloring, the lighting. So I think that's where it started, was we created these videos with the vision of walking women through the 6 principles that Creative Woman has. Dreams, healing, identity, purpose, health, fashion, all 6 of those principles.
Look at you doing it in order too.
I got it, girl. I got it. So, to walk women through that. And then from there, once the videos were created, the writing team kind of took over. And so we put together a team of women writers. And again, these are all so you mentioned Kate is one of them, Dr. Kate Bohannon. You're one of them. Heather, our very own Heather Frierson, founder of Creative Woman, is one of the authors. I'm one of the authors. Who else? Krista Searfoss, Jolene Feller, and Crystal, your sister, Crystal Bro, the famous Crystal Bro. So we had this group of amazing women. And what we did was we came up with a template that we could use for each section and for each video. And so each video is a day or a section in the book, a chapter in the book. And so we came up with a template to use that would take the woman from, just kind of watching the video, understanding the video, and then diving deeper and applying what the video is talking about to their life. And then even further to how you can talk about this with other women in your CW circle or in your dream launcher friend group that you're doing this with, right? And so we created this template, and then each writer watched a video and wrote their section based on that template, and it was edited. We had multiple meetings to kind of brainstorm, talk about this, because it's different than other things that we've done in the past.
It is totally. In the past, we were doing devotional books. So each writer just took the theme and kind of followed a template, but it was really like a testimony. We would say, tell a personal story. And we have, by the way, shameless plug, we have 35 devotional books if you'd like to get any of those as well. And they're incredible. This is just a little different.
It is different. So it was challenging. It, in a way, it sounds easier, but it was kind of a little bit more challenging, because as a writer, you're not necessarily writing about your own ideas, but the ideas that are presented, and then having the reader, the woman that's going through this workbook, take it a step further. So we did that. And then once we came up with our drafts, of course, as usual, it was all professionally edited and put together very nicely, which you did a lot of that work.
I did. I call myself a professional Canva expert. Don't call me. I can't do yours. I'm really not, but I know enough that I can do this kind of stuff. Yeah.
well, you do a bang up job with it, and it looks, the end product is really beautiful. And I was just looking at it and just reminding myself of the questions, and within each one at the end, there's a what is it called? Going deeper, or
Yeah. It's
uh,
dream bigger. Yeah.
yes, dream bigger section. And so I'm just reminding myself of it and loving every part of it. But that's how we did it. It took
Yeah.
time. This
Yes,
happened over a period of months.
it did.
And
Oh,
but
really a
yeah.
year, because we took a little break too during the summer to kind of, or I did at least, and a lot of you did from the, writing process. So from beginning to end, I'll just have to say, well, before I jump ahead, I think it's beautiful the way you brought the writers together to be on one page. And it really takes an effort when you have a team that's going one way. Like you mentioned, we were writing a certain way for a couple of years. We were kind of punching out those books. You knew how to do it. We knew how to do it. It became second nature almost to us to punch out these devotional books. Then to say, actually, this next project is going to be way different.
Yeah.
And the why behind it. And that takes a lot of leadership to turn not just a page, but a chapter. If you, if I'm taking book analogy, you took the team, it's like, we're doing something different, and presented it. You kept everybody on track. You did a phenomenal job, a
Well,
phenomenal
thanks.
job.
I will say, thanks for the compliment, but I will say that what you said is key, the why. I think for anything
Mm,
like that, for anyone listening who might be wanting to do something like this, it's really important for people to understand the why, but also the vision for it. Like,
yeah,
to be able, so when I said earlier that we really have been like praying for and planning for this for a long time, we have, because we had to envision this finished project that
yeah,
women in their circle of friends, in communities all over the US, outside of the US maybe,
mm-hmm,
women who are leaders and entrepreneurs, and in business and in ministry, and all of this, are going to actually use this
yeah,
to launch their dreams or further their
yeah,
dream. And so that was, I think that was the key to that, in getting
yes,
the group to move forward, is the vision for it.
yeah. I think you're right about that. And when we talk about dreams, I think I always say this, it sounds so fluffy. But I heard a message this weekend that I thought that is really what dreams are all about. And my pastor spoke about, Joseph having his dream of being, you know, king, if you will, one day.
Hmm.
And it took him so long to get there, from being sold to Egypt and going to jail. Um,
Yeah.
all these things that happened to him. Am I saying the right thing? You look
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but he held on to the vision,
Yeah.
the dream that God had given him. And when we talk about dreams, yes, it could be a dream of a business,
Yeah.
which God also can give you, but it also could be something so deep and so big that we're hanging on for dear life, going, God, I believe you gave me this vision, this idea, this dream, and I haven't seen come to completion yet. Or you're going through transitions with that dream and need to go through what we call the CW circle again, which is the 6 steps, then going through another layer of healing. And so this vision that we've had for this project has been bathed with so much time, love,
Yeah.
and prayer.
Yeah.
Stacy and I talked about the video process a couple of years ago, because in reality, the video was produced 3 years ago for another project.
Yeah.
And we did it as a class right after COVID to match women up so they could be dream launcher friends.
Yeah.
So you'll see even on YouTube that there's a whole nother introduction or welcome that I did that's not as professionally done, because the professional welcome that I did that day was for a whole nother project. Um, and then realizing after the fact, because that was the season that we needed for that, what women needed. We were coming out of being in cocoons, if you will, and needed to come out into community. Well, now we're all in community. We were like, okay, this project is so good.
Yeah.
We need to bring it more to the public, and not just, but we
Yeah.
did it in
Oh,
front
oh,
of a live studio. A
a wider
wider, yes,
audience. Yeah.
yes. And that's why this book came in. Tell me, Gina, that's a lot of the details that we just covered. But as you look at the book and as you read, because you read every single one of them, maybe it might have been 8 months ago when you read them, but you did go through them and have meetings. What was the heartbeat behind those conversations? What were you hearing from the writers?
So I think the heartbeat behind it all is reaching the woman who either feels unsure or stuck, or like you just said actually about Joseph. This came to mind, maybe you already thought of this, but the story of Joseph, he had this dream and then he went through all of those things. Well, that's really what Created Woman does for
Mm,
women, right? Whether we dreams do sound fluffy, but whether we realize it or not, we all have a dream. Like there's
yeah.
something that all of us want to do. Um, but we have to go through that process of finding healing, of knowing who
Hmm.
we are, who we really are. And who
Right.
we really are is not, it's not really our title that would feel like the walking out of our dream, but it's who we are in Christ, who God made us
Mm,
to be, right?
right.
And then the rest of the principles. But I feel like Joseph actually went through all that. I mean, when it comes to healing, some of that is being humbled. And like that's the first thing
Mm,
that happened to him. He was incredibly humbled. He had the dream that
wow.
he was like in charge of his brothers, and he told them kind of pridefully, like, hey, I had a dream that I was ruling all of y'all. And they were like, yeah,
Right.
whatever, we're gonna stuff you in a hole. So it that I would say envisioning women walking through that from wherever they are, whatever point that they might be stuck in or unsure of, and really getting them to the next step.
Hmm.
What we didn't want was another feel good daily
Mm,
devotional kind of thing. We wanted something that really aligns with what Created Woman is and what we seek to do. And that would really truly help women walk out their dreams and live out their purpose.
yeah, that's really good. We didn't want it to be fluffy because not that the other books are, but
No.
this, we felt like this is a core message for us.
Yeah.
It's not our and a core project that I don't think is going to be something like, oh, well, that was good. Good thing we got that done last year. Now on to the next. No
Yeah.
matter how many more books we produce, I feel in my spirit, just the same way one of our first books almost 10 years ago has become one of our core materials. This has become, will, and is a core message that we have for all women of understanding one, that you were born on purpose and for a purpose, and that there's a journey that
Yeah.
we have to take, a road daily,
Yeah.
yearly. We never arrive, which is why these principles really have remained steadfast in
Yeah.
us. And, I was just thinking like our last principle is fashion, really because of being an ambassador of Christ and honoring who God created you. But I was just thinking when you're talking about Joseph, I'm like, and he had a coat of many colors.
He had a coat. He had
He
a
had
coat.
a coat.
It's perfect. Why haven't we thought of this before? Um, so, so but I want people to like what you just said. I think I agree. I think this project isn't just a project for now. That it's kind of the heartbeat or the signature project for Created Woman for the longer term, because of what you just said. And I want people to listen to you as the founder, creator. You just said you went through a season of kind of pause and reflection over the summer where you were reflecting in your own, purpose and dreams and what are you doing? And we all go through that. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
so much that any of us like I'm going to take this course, like, it's a college course and I'm going to learn it, I'm going to master it, and I'm going to move on with my life. We're always going back to these same principles. And so it's something that can just be used, I think, for even the same woman over and over again, or something that can be used for all kinds of women in all kinds of seasons of life.
Mm-hmm. So good. We're not going to master it. We're not going to complete the course. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
So true. Okay. We have a few listeners, I'm sure, that are wondering about the writing team. And we've already got some things up our sleeve. Like, I hate that it's launch day and we're like, and also we're probably going to have this in a few months, maybe a year. But let's give a sneak peek of what we're talking about. And, like there's a saying that once you say it out loud, you have to do it. I'm not going to say that. We're going to say out loud what our idea is, but don't hold us to it. But it may. But let's give a sneak peek because there is possibly some opportunity for being a part of the writing team. And so, can you share just a sneak peek, even though it's launch day for this book?
Yeah.
What you and a couple others have talked about what might come next.
Okay. So yes, sneak peek. I'm trying to think of how much or how little I want to say, but
not enough so someone can take it. Just kidding.
Okay. Gotcha. So after doing this project, so I shared how it was a little bit of a challenge doing this in this format as writers. Writers we tend to be more analytical and perfectionists and stuff, so we want to get it right. And after walking it out, and we kind of saw how it turned out and how nice this was going to be and how valuable it was going to be for people, so we're like, what's next? Let's do something else. And the idea that we came up with is a sort of a Bible study, more of a Bible study format on women of the Bible, but focused with a bent for created women, women leaders and entrepreneurs in the Bible. And so focusing in on female characters in the Bible and studying them through that lens. So I think a really safe example to use is the Proverbs 31 woman, because everyone is familiar with her. And well, I say that most, if you, most Christian women are familiar with her. But the passage talks about how valuable she was to her family and to her community. And she was an entrepreneur. I mean, she had fine linens and was a businesswoman. And so we want to put together in this similar format that we've done this book, this workbook. We want to put together another project that's more of a Bible study on women leaders and entrepreneurs in the Bible.
Yeah, I love it. I'm celebrating that one already. And so if you're hearing this and you're like, oh, and there's a spark that just came about you and you're interested, just simply email us at hello@creativewoman.net. Of course, it's in the description box, and send us a sample of your writing and why you want to be a part. It's that simple. We haven't done a form. We haven't done anything like that you have to fill out. Just send us an email with a sample of your writing and why you want to be a part. And then you might be hearing from us in the next few months. Who knows? But today, you can get this today and watch the Dream Launcher Connections video today. And I have to say, there's a few that we need to thank. Of course, we just talked about how amazing the writers were, and the panelists. We did a lot about that on Stacey's podcast. But we could not have had this book particularly without our photographer, Marina Marston. I mean, without her, it wouldn't be so beautiful. The day that we were on set, she took all the pictures, and nothing in here is stock photos. It's all pictures from that day. And we had this beautiful white chair that every single woman sat in that we got a picture of. Because not only do we have panelists there, we had a live audience. Women came to be a part of our audience. It was so fun. And speaking about fashion, we borrowed some clothes from a local boutique who let us, so that we could, kind of all be in the same color family. So everybody was right on point with fashion. That was so fun. But Marina, I have said since day one, because she's been with us since 2011, she helped create this brand aesthetically.
Yeah.
I just can't even, what?
I said beautifully.
Beautifully. She's just has done so much. So Marina Marston of Square Earth Studio. And then, of course, our editor who has done so much editing for us for the past 6 years, Deb Hall. All of their links are found in the book. that you can get. And then, and I say about Deb, she makes our words come alive, and she double checks us for theology, which I love that we found an editor that checks us for theology, which, by the way, in 6 years, there's only been one time she said, I don't know if this scripture fits here. So yay to us, but we've talked through stuff before of how to word it better so that it makes more sense. And then, of course, the production team, Noah's team that helped us with this. But Gina, you just really led the team here, the writers. It's been amazing. I cannot wait for everybody to go get it.
Me neither. I just am so glad it's here. I'm so glad to see it, like I said, in print. It's so pretty. And like you said, it really is a team effort. The writers, I was honored to lead the writers. These are great women who really did want to write a valuable workbook for you, the person listening. But you're absolutely right. It was the whole team. It was you, it was the production team, it was Marina, that put it all together into this beautiful, it really is beautiful, very beautiful workbook.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so today's launch day, congratulations.
Yay!
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of the writers. Congratulations to our production team, the panelists who, I'm telling you, I think we have the wisest women a part of this. From the panelists, I remember, I mean, I'm going to go on another tangent in a minute, but I remember sitting there that day just listening to every episode. And I'm very critical when it comes to production because of my background with church production. I was a part of church production, the production team for over 10 years. So I'm very aware and sometimes critical. It's, you know, it's hard for me to be in church. Sometimes I'm looking over my shoulder still almost, anyway. So the panelists were just so amazing.
They were.
I can't even name all of them right now because there's 14 of them, but they're named in the book. So go get it. We've made it really easy for you to go get the book. The link is in the description box below. It's live. Maybe you already pre-ordered. If you pre-ordered the book before today, then you are part of the group that's getting a gift with purchase, and that's mailing out this week. There is information too in the description box about CW circles, about how you can join one or host one. And that's what we're really encouraging everyone to do, is to not do this alone, because it's called Dream Launcher Connections, which is based on our one of our taglines and core beliefs of having Dream Launcher friends. So join a CW circle, create one. We're actually doing one inside our CW app. If you don't know about the app, there's a link in bio, but we have our own app that we do a lot of stuff in, and we're going to host a virtual CW circle there as well. So
do it with a friend.
Excited. Do it with a friend.
Yeah, I want to speak into that too, because like sometimes people want to, I don't know, they're shy. We're afraid to speak our dreams out loud. But that's where you really see the progress, because if you speak it out loud, first of all, it takes faith to do that. And when we act on our faith, that's when God starts to move.
Yeah.
And so do it with a friend, because you're acting in faith. And also you just be really surprised how people can speak into your dream. You really need community there. So do it with a friend. I want to like speak in it for anybody who's like, oh, I think I might get the workbook and do it by myself. You can, but I'm telling you, it'll be better if you do it with
much
a friend.
better.
Get you a group of girlfriends.
Exactly. And the thing I want to say, yes, the end of the day, it's so that you can understand your dream and your purpose in this season. But like Dr. Kate and I talked about, we're also discussing healing, identity, purpose, health, and fashion. And the reason those are all in there is because it's a whole woman, and you need every single piece. The Bible says when we confess our sins to one another, we are healed. So as we go through healing principle, to do that alone, you don't get the full picture. Does God forgive you? Yes. And healing doesn't necessarily mean, obviously, that there's something sin we've done. It's just an example that I'm using. Healing can be from, we talked about trauma in Dr. Kate's episode, little T, big T trauma, that sometimes we're hitting our head against the wall going, I know my dream. I'm just not getting to it. Well, it might be because there's some more healing. It might be that God wants to really speak into your identity, that there's something that you're not even embracing in your identity so that you can fulfill your purpose. So, dreams is the big picture here of what we
Mhm.
want to help you with, which is honestly about your purpose and your legacy for generations. But the
Mhm.
reason you need to do it with someone is not just to help launch a dream, it's so that you can walk through healing. And also, I'll say this, don't think it's just for you when you enter a circle,
Boom.
right?
Yeah.
You might be the one someone needs. You have
Yeah.
something for someone else,
Yeah.
right? How many times have you had the opportunity, whether it's at church, in a CW circle, in a Bible study, or just wherever, that you've been able to pray for someone or have had the exact answer they were looking for?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So that's it. I love it. Any last words before we say goodbye?
I think the only last thing I would say is that the one person we didn't congratulate is
Oh,
the woman listening. Like,
mm,
I just want to say, if you've got this workbook and you're going to walk through it, especially with a group of friends, I'm just going to say in advance, congratulations to you because you will walk away um, taking next steps with real applicable to your life, practical steps for growth in your dream. And so
yeah.
I just say congratulations to you.
Yeah, I love that. And I also want to give you another thanks and congratulations, Gina, and for leading this and for all the women that are like, I'm going to send that email about writing. You get to work with Gina here, who how many books have you published? Like three of your own?
Three of my own.
Three
Yeah. Yeah.
three of her own books where not just contributing to books, but writing her own. So you're in a good group of women, and a couple of the other writers on the team have also had their own books. So it's a great group. So I love that you just poured into the women that are listening. And then I just want to encourage the women that are having that little tingle in their heart saying, I need to send that email. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, thanks, Gina, for joining us today. It was exciting. Congratulations to everyone again. Go get the book, go watch the videos on YouTube. And until next time, go and be the woman you are created to be. Bye.
Bye.